next part of our conversation here today. And we talked about Noah Kai Banks leaning towards Germany already. Also, we talked to Tanner White. Ryan, this next part of the conversation, I guess, is one of the things that makes the game beautiful. And I don't even know how to pronounce the name of the club per se, but a
Bodo?
Norwegian fishing town. Is it Bodo? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Bodo / GLIMT.
Yeah, everyone just says Bodo, so I don't even know
It's
how
just
to pronounce
Bodo?
it. Yeah, just Bodo.
Okay. Delivering a Champions League fairy tale. And they're turning into one of the more feel-good stories in football right now. Obviously, Wrexham, another one of them, but toppling Europe's biggest clubs in its first ever season. But they ended up taking down a pretty big side. So go ahead and set the scene first, Ryan.
Yeah, just this little town. That's just Nate's gonna get all like he's gonna feel really good about this because it is to think
feel good, you know.
Real quick, college football teams and some college football teams and some college basketball teams have bigger transfer budgets on players than this team does. They only have $5 million to spend every summer. They have $5 million to spend, and this is the underdog Nate likes. So I'm gonna give it to him. He's gonna like it. He's gonna like it a lot. I can tell. But basically, this team who beat Man City earlier this year in the league phase, who beat Atletico Madrid, who beat Inter Milan in a home and away rather, and they're up 3-0 on Sporting right now in the round of 16. Which, if Arsenal gets through, this is who we're playing in the quarterfinals, which I'm completely fine with. To be honest with you, we'll take care of them. No issue.
You don't want the team of destiny, man. That's not the team you want to face.
Loyola Chicago ran into Michigan in the Final Four, and that was fine.
Yeah, but they got to the Final Four, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, but we ran into the team of destiny and we beat them.
It's true. It's true. It's true. I love the faith you got, man. I'm just saying, you've been paranoid about having faith in your team.
We'll beat them.
Now you're all in. All right, okay.
If we're already 1-1 right now with Leverkusen, if we get through, we're going to be fine.
Cinderella scare the hell out of me, man. I'm just saying, but
we've had smaller sides in the Champions League, and we have won 7-2 before in 2 legs. So I think Arteta and the boys will take care of these guys. But this is what I'm just saying. This is a small fishing town, which I think they said is like 70 miles off of the capital, Oslo. In Norway. Like there's
north.
They said northern Norway.
They're above the Arctic Circle.
They can't physically have a grass field. I don't think people realize that. They cannot have a grass field because and everyone in soccer for like you have to have grass field. Like you have to have a grass field. Like we can't have turf, we can't have artificial. That's what everyone hates. But Bodo is like, guys, we physically can't have a grass field. We have to have turf. Like there's no way we can't have it. And it kind of creates a little bit of a home field advantage in a way because no one actually plays on turf anymore. That's playing in the Champions League and all that stuff. Like this team also hasn't played a league game since November because of the cold. Like they physically can't play cold games in Norway. Like they can't have a home game rather. So all of a sudden they're beating these giants. And these players, you must think, oh, well, they must be on the Norway team, like the Norway men's national team. Let me tell you something. They don't. There's 2 players on this team that are from. There's a handful. I think there's like 15 plus Norwegians on this team, and only 2 of them actually play for the national team for Norway, which is just crazy to think about. And then also, I wanted to say this too because I was in this article. This is hilarious to me. Fighter pilot brings belated success to Bodo. Founded in
I saw that.
1916, they had to wait more than a century before becoming a Norwegian champion for the first time. The team had just been relegated to Norway's second tier, being an elevator club, which means promoted, going down, like just going back and forth between the leagues. And then where is it at? Then they get again, I can't pronounce the guy's name, but he gets brought to be the backroom staff and help this is crazy to me, man. This guy was in charge of his like bombing unit in the military on like creating like mental techniques for like the group or whatever, like what they're about to do,
mental
like in
coach.
the wars and stuff. So then they bring him to the team, and now like all of a sudden this whole mentality changes with Bodo. And I think that's sick, man. I think that's so awesome that like you have a war guy, doing this. Like I think that's great. Let's see. Yeah, there's only 2 Norwegian teams that have been called up, and it's just crazy to think
Do you ever
that.
feel like training back in the day was like basic training for soccer? Some of the conditioning felt like basic training. Two-a-days certainly felt that way for football. At least they
Oh,
tried to
oh,
teach.
okay.
They tried to take it that way.
We would run. See, my coach always thought, because we would run a mile or a couple miles, but our coach always thought that the way you build fitness is through playing games and sprints back and forth, like
Mm.
scrimmaging and like short-sighted stuff. Because like, yeah, you can go for a 2-3 mile run and have no issue, but at the same time, you're
But
playing.
you're not cutting and you're not going left and
Exactly. Like
right. You're not making
you're not
stops. Yeah, you're not. Yeah,
actually
right.
when you're doing that, you're not actually
Yeah,
like you're not actually having fitness. Like, yeah, you can run a
yeah.
long
It's
time,
not
like
using everything.
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the
Yep.
same time, like you're looking at it and it's like, well, then you play, 30 minutes in a game and you're already winded. Like that's
Yeah.
so we would do
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
running and then
Yep.
but ultimately we would just play games and or scrimmage, I should say, or like play short-sighted stuff, and that was, I think, a good form of fitness as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, no, that besides that's I'm back to Bodo. I just think it's crazy to think that a team like of all the teams that are in the Champions League right now, you think of a Real Madrid, you think of a Bayern Munich, you think of Barca, you think of Man City. These guys have billionaire owners. Arsenal too. That's why I don't like the Rams. Like billionaire owners, like all that stuff. Yet this team is just with the town. Like this is basically like if Wrexham were to
Yeah.
get into the Champions League. That's basically
Mm-hmm.
what this is.
Yeah.
And I know the conditions aren't as crazy. But I mean Wrexham probably has more money, but not crazy amounts of money compared to the other clubs. But like it's just
Yeah.
crazy to think that like a town of this many people. It's like if Shelby Township had a team and all of a sudden they're winning. They're in the U.S. Open Cup and they're in the
Yeah.
quarterfinals taking on Inter Miami. Like
I
that's
mean, I
cool.
imagine it would be like something comparable to like if Alaska had a team, and like that or something. Because like I'm thinking about like the weather conditions, like
Yeah.
with it being the way that it is, and I mean, you really only get in that area of Norway 3 months of like decent weather. Outside of that, I mean, you're playing in at best 35 degrees. Now I'm sure they measure it in Celsius over there or
Yeah.
Celsius. Yeah,
Yep.
Celsius. But we're Fahrenheit here, but I mean it would be freezing for the rest of the year. So yeah, I mean, man, it's like tough, gutsy, like all that stuff.
I forgot to mention
Absolutely.
this. You know what's also funny? Champions League
What's up?
stadiums have a seating capacity of a minute. You have to have a minimum of 8,000 seats. Bodo has 8,000 seats in their stadium, so they just meet the requirement. That's the smallest
Yep.
stadium in the Champions League. That's
Yep.
just like you
Yep.
watch sometimes Europa League games and Conference League games. Like you see like Bodos everywhere. Like this is like that's like the norm in the Conference League and the Europa League, and more the big
Yeah.
stadiums are kind of like the outliers. But to do this in the
Hmm.
Champions League, I mean, again, I don't think they go all the way. I don't think they win it all or anything. I don't think they get past the quarterfinals. I think Arteta and the boys will take care of them anyway.
Love
But
it. Love the
but at the, at,
confidence.
at the same time though, they there's a weird thing with Arsenal. They hate like you can tell when there's like a good story, they absolutely hate it and want to just destroy it. So I
Yeah.
think they'll beat them. But no, this is I just think it's a good story. I think it's a good story to show because like that's what soccer is all about. And this is what the US Open Cup's about too. Like not to like compare the Champions League to the US Open Cup, but think of a side like Flint City. They're in the USL 2, 4th division. Then you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
Forward Madison, who I think is in USL League 1, so a couple divisions ahead of them. And they're playing and Flint City's got a home game. So that's just what I like
Yeah.
about, everyone likes a Cinderella and I do to an extent, but I
Hmm.
personally think if there's one Cinderella every single year and that's it, like we just have one Cinderella, because at the end of the day, you still want to see the best teams play the best teams. But if you can get one Cinderella, and the Champions League always seems to spawn in one Cinderella every like 3 years for whatever reason, Ajax a couple of years ago, then I think it's fine. And I think that if
Yeah.
this was a tournament of all Cinderellas, of all Bodos, I wouldn't be too inclined to watch the other games.
Yeah.
But no, it's good to see a Cinderella here and there.
It adds to the sport. It makes it more exciting. It makes the storyline more more alluring to those people who want to
Yeah.
watch. It's why we love sports, and I mean to really kind of overgeneralize it in a way, which that's exactly what it is. And the squad itself has seen a big financial boom. I mean, from 2017 to last year, I mean, they had around 40 employees at 4.2 million. I think that was in 2017, so 5 million US dollars budget. But last year, I think the club's revenue was 80 million, so 93 million converted, boosted by making more than 26 million euros. But compare that to the rest of the teams that they're playing against, it's still not even in the same
You know what's
category,
crazy?
right? So, like, what's
We
up?
talked about college football teams having more money to spend. Texas high school football stadiums seat more than this stadium.
Yeah.
Like, that's just
But
crazy to think
but
about.
it is it is. No, it absolutely is. And I remember flying over Texas to I was going down to Laredo, so I had to fly to Dallas and then Dallas to Laredo, and flying over all these
Where's Laredo
stadiums
at?
and every single
Never heard of it.
Laredo is south. It's the second southernmost town in Texas. It's right on the border with Mexico.
Okay.
So Texas A&M International is down there. I wanted to be a sports information director for like 5 minutes, so I was accepting interviews and doing stuff like that. It's
SID. Okay.
it's yeah.
SIDs do a
It's
lot of
funny
work. They
because
don't get a lot of love. They got to deal with my
no.
emails all the time.
Yep. And I thought that maybe I could do SID and broadcasting, but typically it doesn't end up working out that way because you got so many things to do anyways.
Typically, I've seen people do sideline reporting and SID. I've seen that.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I think doing
it
play
is.
by play and SID, man, you're just asking for
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's
um
not a fun existence, if you will. Yeah. So, but anyways, flying down there, I mean, like football stadium after football stadium, and I'm thinking there's a lot of Texas colleges, like probably college stadiums. No, I get there and they're like, no, those are all high school stadiums. Like once you got past where the Cowboys play, everything else on the way here, it's all high school. So it's nuts. It's crazy, but that's just the culture down there. But I will say, I think people get too caught up in like stadium size, because I even saw that comment on our USL VMLS video the other day. People are like, well, like no USL side will ever fill out a 75,000 seat stadium. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, like I get it, but like
the league's also
that's not the point of what we're trying to get at. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and of course, if you bring,
do MLS sides sell out their whole stadiums? No. Maybe for Messi. Why do you think?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you bring Messi to the table. Obviously, you're gonna sell it out. Bring Messi to the mall, and the place is gonna like overrun. Like anywhere you bring the guy, it's gonna So I don't really get into the whole, well, they'll never be able to fill out a stadium that size. That's not really the point of what we're trying to get at here. But anyways, getting back to Bodo. Yeah, very, very inspiring story. I would consider it on par with like a Wrexham, and I think that would be the matchup that people would want to see is Bodo v Wrexham. That's, I think, the one that everybody wants to see there. So, but let's hope the boys Arsenal can take care of them if it comes.
Oh yeah, they will.
All right. Just saying, man. I like the confidence. I like it. I like it.